And these
are a few
of our favorite
things.
things. Guys, okay, we are shoehorning this episode in because it's been a lot going on. Animating ran halfway across the country in mess, and I had a busy weekend, Lord Jesus.
It was a holiday.
It was a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
We have a guest. Our guest unfortunately had to cancel, had a personal issue. I kind of forgot. I was like, oh Lord, we ain't had no show. And so I got with her, and she done been to maybe the greatest baby shower of all time.
I mean, it was amazing. I'm currently right now in Atlanta, and it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
What did y'all have to eat? Say the eats again.
So I went in there. Everybody knows what baby shower food is. Like I went in there and I was expecting meatballs, deviled eggs, spaghetti even, and it was like crab cakes and like miniature pulled pork sliders and like shrimp cocktail shooters. Like it was delicious, but
they did it up.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, usually just somebody made spaghetti, like but that's okay.
Yeah.
And so with that said, we were racing, and I want to just say very quickly that June, which I didn't know, is Black Music Month or Black Music Appreciation Month. I didn't know this.
So I won't leave you out there by yourself. I had no clue.
I had no idea.
We learned this today. I was today years old.
I felt kind of good about it until I realized that mess been going on since 1979.
Wow.
Hello, I got Hidden Figures vibes right now because why ain't nobody? Anyway, so
said a thing. Nobody said a thing.
Still think about that. So very quickly, y'all make sure you go through a little Black music history or Black history in music. I'll call it like that.
Okay.
Some of the greats, we already know. We've listed so many of them. But aside from that, we got to talk about something. Okay, our guest is on, and apparently he is in a mine shaft. Okay. Jesus, give me strength. Okay. So he's getting his.
He's one of my favorite guests, by the way.
Right. Everybody love him, but for me, it's.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can't hear, but we can hear each other. So there's something on you. Yeah, you need to change something because he's saying he can't hear us. I
thought he was setting the studio up now.
Oh, I thought he was. Okay, so as he's getting it ready, here's the thing about this.
Yes.
I've been just learning to dabble a little bit in the stock market. Tiff has been dabbling a little bit more than me. And so our guest, though, as you know, he came on the shareholders and he blew me away. I mean, I've been knowing this man for 25 years, but
you just found out he works for the New York Stock Exchange.
Basically, he blew me away because he spent all pandemic learning stock market and stuff. Tiff was like, well, okay, first of all, what made you tell me? Because did you know I was in any kind of stocks or anything?
No, I did not. Okay. So Here's the thing. So I started during the pandemic, maybe a little bit before, I started to become interested in stocks, but still not knowing what I was doing really. I just started to put some buy into some bigger companies, Apple, Target, Disney, some things like that. And I was just kind of just doing that and letting it ride. So during this time, we all know what happened with GameStop. So I remember reading an article a year or so ago, and they were talking about what they expected to happen for GameStop, AMC, Bath and Body Works in that article. And I remember peeking at GameStop, and it was at a good low price where I could have bought in, and I did
Oh,
not.
this is before the GameStop.
Oh yes, and I'm still like kind of hitting myself, right?
Oh,
so I didn't really know anything about it, and I was just, you know, doing whatever. And then all of a sudden, GameStop happens, right? And people are like retiring right now because of that. This is not anything typical that happens, but it happened, and people made a lot of money. So of course, after that, I go back to AMC now, because I remember in that article, it mentioned AMC as well. So I'm thinking we're in the pandemic, and something has to happen, especially once this is over. People start, you know, resuming back to their normal activities and going to work. So I buy in.
Wait, okay. Do you remember the article?
I wish I did. I wish I did. Literally, it was just like me just dabbling around on the internet, trying to figure this out, because at this time, I know nothing about it. So this is why I didn't even take it seriously. I didn't even know what I was even reading. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And that happened. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe that was really talking about something. So I go back and I put a little money on AMC. So when I first bought in, AMC was $7. Then I bought in again.
Now we got it, because this is the music crowd.
Yeah.
This ain't my. So guys, you gotta understand real quick. So if you don't know what Tiff is saying with GameStop, I'm gonna try to make this as simple as I can. I mean, I don't know a lot, but basically, it looked like GameStop was going under. And so a lot of, in the stock market, these hedge funds, they can kind of bet for a company to go under and make money off of the company folding. And the crazy thing about GameStop is all of a sudden it started to rally. And really it was because of the little guys who love GameStop. They're very nostalgic for it. And some of the small investors on apps like Robinhood, Webull, things like that, they're like, no, let's try to save it. And they started doing it. And when that price goes up, these hedge fund people that predicted it to go down, now the prices are going up. That is not good for them. So
no way.
With GameStop just took off and went crazy. So what Tiff is describing there, she said, I wish she would have. Oh Lord,
I really do. So once now, you know, I remember reading about AMC. I go back on and I'm like, listen, I missed this train once already, and I'm not doing it again. I refuse. Still very, you know, still not really sure what I'm doing. I just know what happened, and I want a part of that, right? This shift won't happen without me this time. I want in on this. So I put in money at $7 to buy shares. I'm like, okay, you know, no problem. And so it stays there for a while, and then it goes up to $9. And I'm like, okay, I bought some there, just a couple of shares, not even a big deal. Cause again, I don't know what's happening and when it's going to happen or whatever. I'm just like, yeah, no, I have time. Right. So then all of a sudden it goes to like $12. So then I, you know, buy a significant amount of shares, and I sit back and this thing just starts blowing up. I could not even believe what was happening. So I'm definitely in good shape, being that I bought some shares at $7, $9, even $12.
Got it. To put it in, so you put it in perspective, right now it's at like 47 or 48.
Yes. So and we hit a high last week of $80.
It got crazy for a minute.
Yeah.
Again, if you even if you still understand a little bit of stock market, don't. If you can get something at 7 and it goes up to 20, that's really good, because man, stocks don't just jump like that. Especially a stock like AMC. This ain't Facebook. If that joker gets to like 30 or 40, eyes are like checking out. And then it got to 80 for a minute. When Tiff called me, she said, you should check this AMC out. I'm like a lot of y'all that are probably hearing this for the first time, like AMC.
AMC?
Ain't movies like shut down? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I
That's
said.
Exactly what he said, everybody.
I'm like, ain't the movies shut down?
Yeah.
But, you know, and I'm just trying to get my feet wet in it. And so I said, okay, well, let me get a share or two. So I got in around 23, and I still just about double at 48.
Absolutely.
Does not normally happen. And I know it don't happen, but it is so crazy. And now there's a windfall. So for God's sake. Okay, so we're going to come right back, because now we got to stop and let him back in.
We'll take a break.
We're going to take one break. So that's our part of the story. We're going to be right back and let y'all back in on this with our guest. What's up, gang? Monty here. Listen, guys, I do a live DJ set every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time for 2 hours. It's called Trust the Playlist. Did you know that? Yes, I'm here. I'll be doing it here. Look, I got my toys. All my stuff with me is great, but here's the problem. I've been going live on IG and Facebook, but I'm having some issues. I want to go live on YouTube. YouTube says I need 1,000 subscribers, so I need your help. Subscribe to Mighty Sharp Network, okay? You do that, man, you will get me on Trust the Playlist doing my DJ set. Plus, you also get our favorite sings and Shareholders Podcast and Taste Buds and any other stuff we do, all on that one thing. The first 100 people that subscribe, you get a free hug. Not from me, but from a designated hugger, void where prohibited, okay? But listen, man, it's going to be great. I need your help, though. Subscribe. Tell your friends, family, people that you don't like. Let them know, man. It's going down on Sundays. Trust the Playlist. All right? Appreciate it. Stay sharp. Be blessed. Guys, we are back. Jimmy rigging it with our special guest. It is late. I got to get out these church clothes. But anyway...
and it's late, right?
And on the East Coast, so it's super late. But okay,
Where you at? New York?
I'm in Atlanta.
You know, she's doing it big. You missed the whole story. You gotta touch on that.
No, you couldn't get in.
Right, and we done talked about how Tiff first. Do you know she read an article that talked about the GameStop before GameStop happened, and it also mentioned AMC. This is before GameStop. She read some article. And when GameStop blew up, she said she started to remember about the AMC, and that's how she got into AMC. So
okay,
she got in at $7. I got in about 24 and change. So then I remember when Tiff told me, I went right to you. I said, Tiff, hold your horses.
Yeah.
Somebody who's big time in the game. Okay, he's an expert. He knows everything about it. He's the richest.
He basically works on Wall Street.
Right.
So.
So I called you. So what did you think when I first told you? Right. What did you think when I first told you about AMC?
Tiffany's crazy. Yeah. Go ahead and say it. Tiff is crazy.
Remember when I told you about that? What did you think when I first told you about?
You told me? You asking me?
Yeah.
Well, first, this is not financial advice. Number one, I always have to state that. So this is purely for entertainment only. And so when I saw AMC stock, when you talked about it, I looked at where it was at, the price at $25 a share. So I always look at its 52-week high and low, and it was already at its 52-week high. Now, at that period of time, I did not know that it was getting ready to go through another run-up. So I was like, wait, this stock is already sitting at its 52-week high.
Yeah.
So based, when you're investing or trading, day trading, swing trading, or investing, you usually don't want to buy a company or stock if they're already at their max. You know what I'm saying? If they're already sitting at their max, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's a dividend paying stock or it's just a stock that you like and you just want to sit on it because you hope it might go up a couple more dollars, and you've seen that their profits, when you look at their reports and their quarterly reports and they're profitable, they might make a couple more dollars for the year. But I was going to steer clear of it. I was like, yeah, no.
Because your analysis was like, bro, it's as high as it goes. Get out of it. So I was about to tell Tiff, yeah, maybe you should just sell now and get out of it. But then stuff started to happen, right? So you called me back like, hold on now. Some things is moving.
It might be on to something.
And so that was when it was at y'all 24. Okay, mind you, this is like $24, $25 range.
Right.
So then you start talking to me, and I was like, Tiff, don't sell yet. Hold on. And then this thing starts to jump up. So tell us, man, what is happening with AMC? Just briefly give us some synopsis.
Well, initially, it's pretty much going through what GameStop went through. You know what I'm saying? It's going through a short squeeze. It's going through a lot right now. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. It ain't just one thing. So you have the short squeeze where the suits and the billion-dollar hedge fund companies are trying to short their companies, and they're buying. If I can say not say too much, they're borrowing shares from the brokers to sell to the retail investors, which is us, and then they're trying to short it. You know what I'm saying? So it can drop, so they can make money. Well, actually run it up first, and then they sell it, and then when it did, they make their money. You know what I'm saying? So That's the short squeeze that they're trying to do. And so when they have all these short squeezes, they borrowed all these, they borrowed money because they don't, with these, saying a lot right now. What's going on? Another thing that's going on is the illegal. And this is what I'm read about. You know what I'm saying? These illegal synthetic shares that were purchased.
Yeah.
They don't even own some of these stocks that they're buying, and we don't even know if these stocks, some of them, the shares exist. But so basically, they're borrowing shares from the broker, selling to us, and then shorting the stock so that we can be left holding the bag. But what's going on is everybody's diamond handing it, which means they're trying to hold it because now the billionaire hedge fund companies is left holding it back. So they've already lost $2 billion. I think just on Friday alone from the company, because they had to cover the cost, cover calls. They had to pay the cover calls. So that was $2 billion. I know that probably don't seem like a lot of money, but for us, that's a lot of money that they waste.
It sounds like a lot of money for anybody, as far as I'm concerned. $2 billion.
It is, but these people are already playing with billions. For them, they've already been in the game for they've been doing this for years. They're playing with billions of dollars. So, you know what I'm saying, while we playing with thousands and hundreds and stuff, we're trying to get to the hundreds of thousands and the millions. They just like, so.
And the key is, though, they don't like to lose, man. They're not in it to lose. They in it to win. And when the winning don't happen, they start. So, okay. Let's fast forward now. So today you was like, oh boy, it's a real. I did not finish that video you sent me, but tell me what you are really excited about today.
Well, so I like to do a lot of my homework on the company before I even invest into it. So right now, what's going to happen is pretty much what I talked about. The hedge fund company is going to have to pay back on all. They're going to have to cover the costs on all those short sales they did, which means they're going to have to buy back. So if the stock keeps going up, if it doesn't go down, of course, if they want it to go down, so they can buy it back, they make their money. But the more it goes up and the more that, the retail investors hold, or they call them the apes, you know what I'm saying? As long as they hold, they're going to lose billions of more dollars, just unbelievable amount of money. So the retail investors going to hold, and the stock is going to keep running up because they're going to have to pay all the money back for all the shares that they bought to cover, for the short sale, which means the stock could potentially run up to an obscene amount of money. And everybody know that because for the first time, so I think it was on CNBC, they actually went online. CNBC has like over 450 million viewers. They reported on their financial show that they found out that these companies these hedge funds were selling or buying and trading illegal stocks, or illegal shares. Like they call those synthetic shares. It's like basically trading on shares that they didn't even own. You know what I'm saying? So it's borrowing from them, selling it to you, making money in the middle without even having to buy it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how that's legal or how. And I'm not an expert. That's what I'm saying. I don't even. When I heard that, I said, "What? I don't know how that exists." And that's unreal. But what's going to happen is now and I know we keep saying the same statement when we use this analogy for people who are, because this is the movie buff show kind of, favorite scenes, like trading places. It's time the margin call. They got to pay. It's time to pay the piper. So now that they're going to have to pay because they don't want it to go down, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they want it to go down, but they have to pay. So the more shares they got to cover and pay for, because I think it's 88 million shares that's still outstanding, if I'm not mistaken. It's Friday. What's the date right now?
Today is the 6th.
Yes.
Friday, June 6th. So they got to pay all these, cover all them costs, which means the more they have to pay and buy, when you buy it, you're going to see the stock going up. You know what I'm saying? Right. And as the stock is going up, everybody who owns it is making their money. And the diamond hand guys, people who want to hold it, we're going to make by the grace of God, we can make some money during that. Because of their greed, we can make money.
They were talking hundreds, if that, like $100,000. Where I've heard that thrown around, that figure thrown around.
Yeah.
Right.
To the moon.
Realistically, based on the math, it could be somewhere in the amount of $1,000. I mean, it's because it's the amount of shares that they bought and trying to short based on how many they have paid back. They haven't even paid back 1% of the short sales that they bought. So with 88 million shares outstanding, and they've only paid back a smidgen of it.
Right.
Now, when they have to start paying back, that means they got to buy it back. They have to buy back those shares. And if they start buying back them shares, the stock gonna go up.
So right. See, so that's the thing about it. Some people feel just by the math of it, it's got to go up because they got to pay these shares back, unless something weird happens.
Right.
Now, I want to ask both of y'all: are y'all worried about what? Because guys, you should watch the documentary on GameStop. It's on Hulu. I watched it, and that's how I really got interested. Are y'all worried about any kind of chicanery? Where remember on the GameStop thing, Robinhood froze all movement on it. And people are really mad. I'm worried about that. Are y'all worried about that?
Definitely. I wouldn't be shocked if something like that were to happen again. I actually anticipate something like that happening again. And then just recently, they made the announcement about the selling of the 11 million shares or what have you. And apparently that was something that was going down in April. And it seems like there's a lot of attempts to, push us to scare us to sell what is happening, I think. So I wouldn't be shocked if Robinhood locks that thing up.
So Jonesy, so what do you feel like? You feel like tomorrow morning, we might get an indication what's really going to happen if it immediately goes down or immediately goes up, right? You said that, right?
Pre-market. So for example, you know how when a company has an IPO and they tell you this stock is going to pretty much, it could be potentially at $60. Like for example, when Airbnb, when they had their IPO, I bought in early, or I did my pre-market purchase, and because the amount that they said it was going to go for was like $60. So I was like, okay, cool. I bought a whole bunch of some shares of that because I believe in Airbnb is a big company that's booming and whatnot. They have a good product what they're doing. So I bought in, and as soon as it IPO, as soon as that morning opened up, I noticed that my shares didn't go through. My purchase didn't go through. I'm like, man, what's going on here? And so after maybe a few hours, hour or so in, I was like, man, the stock was already at 120 or doubled or something like that. So I couldn't even buy in because the price was already double of what they said it was going to be. Because what happens is we don't have privy to that pre-market early buy that they give to these other institutions, banks, and everybody. They let all these other people buy in first. So even though they might say it's going to be $60 or whatever these companies are, if it's a really good company, that stock already shoots up and double, which we could have technically doubled our money. It was already double, so I couldn't even buy in. So I think what happens is if AMC in the morning, if it does that run up, if the hedge funds start trying to cover their costs and cover calls and whatnot, if they have to pay back tomorrow or whenever they start to pay it back, let's say right now, because the stock was at $47, I think as of tonight, it might have been at $43 right now. In the morning, if we try to hurt them buy at $43 and we turn around and see it's already at 75 or 85 or something crazy like that, then it's about to be a run up.
So see, that pre-buy, y'all, basically is like how Sam's Club opened up at 10 o'clock. But if you got that Sam's Club premium pass, you get it at 9. And everybody was buying up all the water and stuff. And we was all going to Sam's Club early, but people was already jumping in on it. And the thing is, so I'm in layman's terms. I'm trying to break it down for those in real layman's terms. Like in Las Vegas, they have to be able to cover every dollar amount that is bet. So if all the casinos, if there's maybe like $100 million at the Mirage, people are betting, they have to cover all the bets. So the Mirage can't be like, oh man, you want to bet, but we can't pay you. Well, then y'all got to shut down. And that's kind of what I'm trying to tell you with these hedge funds. The issue is they thought it was going down. And here is my theory, y'all. Part of this boom is nerds. And I say it's nerds because of this, because of GameStop. A lot of nerds, and I used to play a lot of games. I used to be a nerd. They felt GameStop going down. They started panicking like, oh, they gonna take away the video games? No, Yeah. A lot of the little guys got on Robinhood and fought against the hedge funds, and that's part of why it really ran up. I feel the movie nerds are kind of behind this as well because it's a nostalgia thing, AMC is connected to all movies. People are very concerned, and movies are starting to come back now. I really think that was part of the genesis of this too, where guys felt like if they take away this, you know, there'd be a rush to it. And I think somebody was saying how like I think Jones, you told me that where the guy, what's the Mad Money guy that be on CNBC all the time?
Jim Cramer.
Jim Cramer. When Jim Cramer says something, he be talking to just regular people who don't really, but they'll be like, "Oh, what? Jim Cramer?" So there'll be a rush even more on the stocks, and I feel like that's what's gonna happen here with AMC as well.
If I can add about what Tiffany said too, the 11 million shares that AMC sold, that was not necessarily now. Okay, so it did play its part though into the stock dropping. So initially, so you and I bought in, and I think Tiffany might have had some shares also. Because and it doubled. Funny thing is, man, we would have just threw it all in. We would have doubled our money. Remember?
Yes.
Tiff, where'd you get in on that? You said you get it in what?
I initially bought like a couple of shares at 7, then a few at 9, and then at 12 is when I really was like, okay, maybe I should like take this thing kind of serious, right? And I started buying up a lot more shares at $12. So yeah, like I got in like 12 is my high, so I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. Your average is really good. And so, but it's probably not going to come back down to 12. That'd be crazy if it does, because that'd be a great buying opportunity. But what happened was when AMC sold their share, the CEO sold it. He gave his son some shares too, and now. But that was a sell-off of the shares just to actually pay some bills for the company. Right. Like they were doing, whatever they were doing for that. But of course, that's 11 million shares. So when they sold 11 million, obviously that price started dipping down because it was already up to what, 70? What did it go up to? 70?
Yeah.
69, 70.
It was like 80 that day was the high.
So when we put in, because remember we bought in, we was going to strike price in because initially. So what you do is when you buy a company, and here's the thing, and it's so different because it's hard to. When you buy into a company AMC is what they consider a recovery stock. So during the pandemic, all these different companies, the airlines went down, the value of the companies went down a lot. Even the casinos, I bought some of my job stock. And so, but now, what's that?
Cruise lines.
Yeah, cruise lines.
So all these companies, right? All these companies that stocks went down because of the pandemic, they all become recovery stocks. So you could almost say, okay, wow, when stuff starts getting better, they're going to go back up to at least their 52-week high or even in the middle. And a lot of these stocks were down by, a crazy percentage. So you could have bought that, and like you did, Tiffany, you bought it at a low price. I bought AMC when it was $2.11 in January. I bought a whole bunch of shares. Yeah, I did. I bought a whole bunch of shares.
What?
It went up to $12. I sold it, and then so I didn't ever go back to it. I was like, okay, because at the time I was looking at maybe some EV stocks and whatnot. I wasn't because you're not expecting a run up like this. You're not expecting.
You sold shares and bought that shirt. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shirt I bought in the Coochie sweater. I bought an old Bill Cosby Coochie sweater, but obviously, had I known, if I could see, hindsight. So I would hold on to it, but so and now the buy-in is what $40-some. If it even still right now, it's people still saying it's still at a good buy price because if it's going to go to, we don't know. I mean, let's just say it goes to 350 or 200 or whatever. You're going to steal 4x and 8 times your money investment.
Listen. Okay.
And this is not typical. Like, it's important to think that this is not something that.
That's why my point of saying this is not fundamental investing. This is literally momentum stocks trying to get back to their spot. But also, this is the retail investors going up against the billionaire hedge funds because their greed will allow them to try to make all this money short in the company to make the company go down. Other people are like, man, we're not trying to let the industry go out like that. And retail investors, now that technology is so advanced where you can buy and trade on your cell phone versus going into an old brokerage company and paying them money to invest for you, you can do it all on your phone. And everybody, is millions of investors out there. They're like, no, we're not trying to have that go down. So they all want to hold, which is good. And the longer you hold it, the less opportunity they have of winning. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like I'm a part of a movement, like literally, like I'm in this.
It is a movement. It's like, that's exactly what it is, because for years and years and years, I mean, imagine that. How is it okay? I think I was talking to you about that. I said, why? How is it okay for them to bet against to fail a company? You want the company to fail in America. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why do you want that? It's only because it's basically, like you said, because of greed. Like the mess we heard tonight at, Divided Spirit. It's like literally they're betting for the company to fail. So and then so everybody was like, nah, I'm buying them a hold. And as long as we hold, the company, the stock won't go completely under, and they lose.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's why, I mean, okay, so we gotta wrap it up. But I really, again, it's crazy for me to talk about this because I'm very new in the game, but this really feels like a paradigm shift. I remember for like music,
very much so.
Industry, we used to all buy CDs and we bought albums and all that. But when YouTube came out, the artists were like, hold on, if 1 million people watch my song on YouTube, ain't that the same thing as them buying a single? And so they had to change everything and like, okay, yeah, we kind of need to recognize that and start paying people and money started to go out. I think the same thing to where, like you said, now that we can do it on our cell phone, now that I can do it and I ain't got to pay nobody for it, the way that we handle stock or they handle stocks might change because they trying to short stuff. They've been shorting companies forever. They've been doing this for a long time, but now the little guy, I always keep saying the little guy is like, nah, hold on. I ain't gonna do that to GameStop. You ain't gonna do that to AMC, and some stuff is changing. So they might have to really rethink how they even operate, I think. But guys, with stock expert, Jonesy, Ricky Bobby's here.
No, I'm not an expert. This is all here.
Well, amongst us, you are.
Yeah, you're the official expert of the OFS. I don't know why you're acting weird.
That's bad. This is not no. And let's say this again because I want to keep honing in on what Tiffany says. This is not fundamental investing. No. This
ain't typical, y'all. This is crazy.
This is not the typical way you invest. All this is you see what's going on in the game. You see the hedge funds trying to run up, trying to tear something down, and you jumping on and trying to keep a company in business, basically. But regular investing is you see a stocks company, Microsoft, Nike, all those companies, their stock is going to typically go up slow and slow and slow. And you buy shares, or maybe 150 shares of that, and you just let it ride for years and years, and you get a great return on your investment. That's the typical investing, you know what I'm saying? This right here is almost like swing trading, jumping on a train, risking your investment, your little investment. You're not throwing all your money into it, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then you join the ride. You're trying to see how far it's going to go up, and you don't be greedy. You take your gains. That's what I'm saying. Because let's say it goes up 200% tomorrow, and in your mind, you're like, oh, it could possibly go up 500. No, take your gains.
Yeah, listen.
Okay. Play with house money.
That's my my last thing. Because listen, y'all, we all live in Las Vegas. And they didn't build these casinos from the winning. They built it from people win a little bit and then spending a lot in the casino. Yeah. What is your stopping point? Do we have a stopping point to where if it goes from 47 to like 100, I'm taking my money out. I'm good. Do you have a stopping point? Okay.
Let Tiff answer first.
I'm gonna start with Tiff. Tiff, do you have a stopping point? You just gonna ride?
So for me, what I'm hoping is that we do hit another high tomorrow. And if that's the case, then yes, I'm going to take out my investment is what I'm going to do. I'll take out my initial investment and I'm going to let the rest ride. I'm going to hold it and I'm going to hope for the best. And I'm okay with that though. I'm okay with that. I didn't put in more than I was willing to lose. So as long as I take out my initial investment, and I can do that now even. I can do that now. But I'm hoping for a high so that I don't sell as many shares because I want to keep as many shares as possible. So I want to take my money out, my investment, and I'm going to hold. That's it. It's a movement. Okay.
Now you in the game.
Well, for me, we're going to let the expert go last. So for me, it's okay. It's like Tiffany said, it's like if you put in $10 and then it goes to 20, well, you made $10. And then if it goes to 50, that's another 30 on that. But so So I'm feeling the same way. I'm like I said, I'm trying to remember the numbers. I got in around 24, 25. Tomorrow, if it don't get crazy, I'm gonna put a little bit more in. But after that, once we get to triple figures, after that, I can take mine out. I'm gonna buy a couple of Gucci shoes, and I'm gonna be fine. Right? Okay. So the expert.
Now, once we get to triple figures, I might take a little bit more out. But because that's a high. So once we get to that, I'm gonna take a little more out and see what the rest gonna do.
Okay, expert in the show, let us know what's your again for entertainment purposes only. What's your
right for entertainment purposes only, because I ain't no expert. So for me, I'm gonna, when I get up in the morning after after I prayed everything, I'm gonna definitely wait to see if it's dipping first. Mm-hmm. If it's dipping down, I definitely gonna buy the low. I'm not gonna grab a falling knife. I'm gonna see how low it goes, and then I'll buy it. Okay. Then I'm gonna enjoy the ride. I'm just gonna hold it until I double my investment. But then, like I said, what I'm gonna do is I want to see how fast it does it, because the other day when we did it last week, it was like literally within the day, went up 60% a day. If that happens, then I know it's gonna be a real run up. I might just hold. If it's gonna do a dramatic, unbelievable run up, I'm gonna hold it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just hold it until diamond hands, and then I'll take profits later. But I'm just saying, if it's like I said, so for me, in the morning, if it goes low, if it goes on to 30 something in the morning, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a good buy-in. I'm gonna buy it. But if it's already running up in the morning, I'm gonna have to hurry and buy it early. Yeah. But it's gonna depend on the momentum of how fast it's growing. If it does like it did last week, where it's going really fast, and so you're like, okay, yeah, this is about to have a crazy run up, and then you're gonna have to see the number of people that's actually into it, because one time it was 250,000 people. Then it went to 300,000. It was 700,000. It was almost 1 billion people on one platform trading on that one stock. So that was bananas. And then also, yes, Tiffany, if that happens, they are going to shut it down.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. There's not even that's just they're going to do that.
Okay. Oh yeah, they're gonna freeze that thing for sure. Lock it up.
All right, guys, it's late. We're going to try to get this out as fast as we can to you on tomorrow. We're going to do our best. I mean, if you ain't got nothing set up yet, I don't think you can set up a Robinhood that fast to start trading. I think you got to wait a day or so, but hopefully, y'all can get in. If you're already doing it, you might want to just put a little bit in on this to see where it goes. But yeah.
But don't put in more than you're willing to lose.
Yeah, don't look at it.
Exactly right.
Treat it just again, I learned enough working at one of these hotel casinos. I've seen folks just ruin their lives. So, I'm very cautious with mine.
No, man.
Yeah, Jones, But, again, we got to shout out Tiff, though, because if Tiff hasn't said nothing, I'd just be poking around and making, $2 off of some Nike stock that ain't done nothing in 3 weeks. But it's just weird how this happened, because she really did just tip some off this. Again, it don't normally happen like that.
And this is the thing, like once I realized, wait, something is happening. At that moment, I wanted to tell everybody that I could. I'm like, listen, sorry I didn't tell you earlier, but something is going on with this AMC thing. Look it up and get in on this if you can. And I was literally telling everyone that, like that between, AMC and then a crypto coin that I'm like, get in on this because something's going to happen. So I know that it's happening. Yeah.
That's good.
So, okay, we will, again, normally this is a shareholder show, but since Tiff gave us the stock, we had to make this an OFS show. Right. So guys, hopefully y'all learned something, man. And remember, this month is the Hidden Sneaky Black Music History Month, which we never knew about, which is kind of a conspiracy. But anything. Okay, you have one more.
I feel robbed.
That's a joke. They did this like that.
Hey, we can do a follow up to see how we did. Like, what percentage we bought in at and where it's at.
Yeah. We're gonna follow up.
Definitely.
I'm gonna show y'all my new Jordans that I got, and then we'll take it from there. So,
I know I'm about 3-4 more new wigs, and that's fact.
Right. Yeah, wait. Time out. One more. Oh man, did everybody free? Okay, what happened, Blondie?
Yeah, I was just blonde. I know. Blonde was fun, but
I was looking at you like something else. See? Okay, yeah. Okay.
I was blind for like 3 days.
You was blind on the trip. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay.
Guys, stay with us. Check us out, Our Favorite Scenes podcast. Please, I need y'all to subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's very important. Again, because I know some of y'all listen on podcasts, but please subscribe as well. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming on, hanging out late with me, man. We all about to go, probably go to bed in a minute. So
for sure.
Have a blessed night and stay sharp.